The Nigeria that is now is the best of Nigeria we have ever had recorded. That's what we are saying economically.
But you have to consider what you are saying. There's a reason why GDP is calculated in dollars, so that you will not be deluding yourself, and then you go out, your 50,000 naira will not be able to buy what your former 5,000 naira could buy.
I remember that when Tinubu came, people were like, we're better off on that boy. But I was like, so after Tinubu now, next person, Tinubu was a lifesaver.
Let us actually come to what he borrowed.
And so how much did he borrow? Now, you mean that you are the professor of his borrowing. Oh yeah, how much did he borrow?
Elonians around the world, you are welcome to the last episode of Rational Dialogue. My name is Elon Jobs. In case you don't know, you should know by now. But if you don't know, today I want to talk about the case of Nigeria, and everybody here is ready to fire on. Are you ready? Because I used to hear the story that, Nigeria is a wonderful country. There used to be a time where they are giving us free shawarma, free rice, free beans. Is that the case? Because at the same time, you will see all these artists and media moguls saying that, crime rate is high, food no day, water no day, all of that. So which is true? A or B? And then, if you are wondering why am I looking all suit up, this is what you'll be seeing in 2025. So, you are going to be seeing more of me in suits, looking all pop-off and sexy like a groom. I'm looking for wife. So, somebody that is looking for wife should look like a groom. You get? So, Dan Smith, I think you are the defender of Nigeria here. What do you think? Are they saying the truth that Nigeria was great? And now let's make Nigeria great again. I think let's make Nigeria great will be like Nigeria. Let's make Nigeria great again.
MNGA.
Make Nigeria great again. MNGA. I won't know even
more. Thank you very much for the intro. Basically, I have two diverse opinions.
Okay. Diversify your opinion, please.
On the subject matter.
Let's hear it.
The first one, right, let me say this, that, for the past how many years now, every Christmas and we used to have a fuel scarcity. People will line down at the fuel station.
Yeah, that's
crying, we need fuel, blah, blah, blah. I used to think that phenomenon is it's a recent issue. Like maybe for the past 10 years or that's what I used to think. Until I saw a video of Nigeria as far back as 1988 or 89. People were queuing at the filling station then for fuel. And they were shouting, we need fuel, there's fuel scarcity, blah, blah, blah. And that made me think that, okay, is it that Nigeria has always been like this? Or there has been a better time and we are living in a different era. But if you want to judge from those two scenarios, you see that it's not as if it's always been rosy in the past with Nigeria compared to now, right?
So that's the first your stand one. Is that the evidence that it's never happened?
Yes.
Okay. So what's your second?
The second one is people will say there was a time where our currency matched with US currency. Pounds. In fact, there was a time Naira had more value than the US dollar. Yes. So people will say, okay, those times Nigerians can travel to US without visa, right? Compared to now, where you need to apply for almost up to a year, and your visa might get denied. You apply again before they might accept you, right? So then that period, people will say, it's much more easier then to do things with the Naira.
So what will you say happened to the two economies that you are comparing? Is it that Nigeria gets worse and US get better? Or what do you think actually happened within the two countries? Or the currency just happen to
with history, right? We made to believe that even the US currency
or Or you did your research?
I did my
or-
research.
So what
the
do you
fact
find?
that even the US dollar has been reducing in value, right, year after year.
All currency reducing
Exactly.
value. Now
Exactly. So
inflation
here's how I'm
is
coming
a
to.
fact of
Here's how I'm coming to.
of economics.
At some point in time, some people handle the economy and the Nigerian economy, and people lose whatever they want to lose, and we finally found ourselves where we are today,
Mhm.
right? So,
So you think losing is a problem?
yeah,
You think the losing is a problem?
part of it.
Okay.
Part of it.
What else?
What else could be our problem?
Josh, it seems you are interested in this topic. You are a political mind. I've known you since forever to always have interest in politics. Do you think we are better off at a point in time in the in the past, or all of this is just propaganda and fake news?
Nigeria has always been Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
See all these bobo that people just throw around and they give all this nostalgic nonsense. It's pure rubbish. Okay, you can argue that when did they burn this one? When did they? What does it know? Okay. All I know is that there are facts in the public domain. And what are those? They will argue. Majority of people that they say they used to eat turkey, they used to eat chicken when they go to classes, when they go to school, and then school they were using school loan, this one, that one. They were free education.
Wait, it is Tinubu that introduced.
No, there was before. In fact, there are some people that were paying their student loan till date recently. So there has been that before. True be told. And now you remember there was a time that this guy did free education for Southwest when he was the premier of Western region.
Awolowo.
Right? Yeah. Credit to him. However, you see, during this period, I saw that there were less than 300 students in the University of Ibadan. Now you say they are giving them turkey, they are giving them chicken.
Why would you give
already
students
to be
turkey?
children of affluent people and extremely gifted people that can even go to those type of, because just 300 people they have to cater for.
Exactly.
So all of the government resources have to be. I'm talking about 1950s. You understand, when it was University College of Ibadan or something like that, when it was still an annex of London University. Yeah, you get. So there were so few people to cater for. So all those stuff that they just put, all those nostalgia that they put up are practically not historically correct.
And they've quite I'm
lacking
agreeing with
context
you on the fact that the number has quite doubled over the years.
Exactly.
We have rapidly grew in terms of from population of maybe 50 million or something like that.
Right now we have
250 million, closing on. We say we want to compete with US. And we don't have the resources, we don't have the companies and corporates and the private sectors and the working systems and the fuel and the petroleum and everything. We don't have no infrastructure, nothing. And then we are growing at a rapid rate. We are pulling the same University of Ibadan has been the University of Ibadan, and then we are throwing more students to that same environment that have not really expanded over the year. So I'm agreeing with you on that front. So you believe that it's all tapping. There can never be any great. It's just
Nigeria has been Nigeria.
Nigeria has been Nigeria.
Nothing better.
Nothing better. It's just that there are more people, and so the resources on ground doesn't seem to fit.
Definitely.
I like that. John, what's your opinion? You have any idea what's going on here?
My opinion. So I've been listening to what the two of them have been saying, and I would like to say we have to check for timelines.
Okay.
Different timelines, because you say Nigeria has been great. When was it? It will be a question.
If you believe Nigeria has been great, you can comment,
ago,
you can throw exactly the era, the epoch under which administration under. Because some people still believe Nigeria was great under someone like your grandfather from
President Olusegun Obasanjo,
ex-president. Now why you are the ex-president
Olusegun Obasanjo.
Some people believe the economy was great under his administration.
Yes.
And then I knew for a fact that many people were struggling to send their children to school even during that time. So the question is it that the people that are deluded, or the economy was great actually, or people just don't want to work, they thought the government was supposed to take care of all the bills? I just don't know. But because I know there's a lot that is mixed.
The thing is, if you are talking about this, we have to consider what are the factors that are considered when we are saying economy is great, and then we check it in comparison. So I think that's the point.
Okay, yeah,
exactly.
You want to say something?
People will say during the 1970s, right, when Nigeria had this oil boom, it was it facilitated several infrastructural build and also other parts of the
Do
economy.
you know that we have cocoa house from cocoa money? And then oftentimes people find it hard to point to one thing that was built out of oil money. Like one standing, massive infrastructure that was out of oil money. Then we say we are just renewing vice president's office or vice president's house for 2 billion or all those things. Like just one massive infrastructure. The point I go, it is petrol money we used to do this massive infrastructure. Do you know that that's still the case now?
That's still debated because there are some refineries that were built.
Okay.
You understand? Of course, they stopped working at a point.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And right now, I can put it to you that even the PH refinery is back to work.
To work, have you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but then at a point, the money was used to build that.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So they can always point fingers
To the refinery.
to what they built.
Okay. To process the oil. But then we don't even have the oil.
Which one?
So, Tracy, what do you think is happening here? Because I see another problem that I think most people are not pointing out. The problem of Nigerians tend to just say the government is not great. The government is not great. As if there's a magical one, the government can just, and everybody will have money in their pocket. Like, that's how governments work. I think there's that delusion somewhere as if, it's the government that's not great. For someone that's not working, you don't have work, you don't have job, you want to be moving mad. You want to be balling in club every week. And you want to complain that the government is not great. I did not understand.
What I noticed is that it's not only in Nigeria, even in places we call sinner climes, United States, for instance. I think Donald Trump knew well and played well on that weakness of human nature. The human nature tendency to always believe that yesterday was better. Given that, I remember that when he was saying, make America great again, make America great again, whenever they go and interview his fans who wear the hat, wear everything and everything, when you ask them that which era exactly do you want us to go back to, that you will say yes, we are back to great, and they won't be able to give an answer, because if they want to give an answer, people will ask them, those times when women were not voting, we're not part of the voting populace, we're not part of the decision maker. Those times when this was the richest person in the country, this was what he could do. Those times when we had not invented this, those times when we had not invented that, they will say, that time we can go back to that same epoch and we'll be like, we are fine. Or what's your point? Or even it's worse in US, to the point where if you are telling them that, okay, let's go back to this GDP at this kind of age, are we saying that we are better off at that point than now? And it will be a problem to answer those questions. So it's more like there is a constant progress thanks to time that people like to ignore. Because I remember, like John Wills was saying earlier, that under President Olusegun Obasanjo, there was Nigeria was great, the economy was great, and I remember
don't quote what I did not quote.
So
you said the economy was great.
I did not say that. Director was saying that people said that, and I was actually trying to say, if you are talking about that, then there should be comparison. I'm just citing what should be used to gauge it. So
what are the factors you are considering? Like,
what's your take?
Economy.
Do you agree that the economy was better under Olusegun Obasanjo? I'm not saying what people are saying. Do you personally agree with that?
Do I personally believe that the economy was better
than
now?
Yes. Proves that.
Yes.
Your assessment of the data proves that.
So I'm not saying it was rosy.
So that means there's nothing wrong with my claim.
So no, exactly. What you are claiming, your claim is like is the best thing that we should go back to it.
No, I'm saying that it was better. That's all.
Let's break it down. Now, you believe under Olusegun Obasanjo we have a better economy.
Yes.
What are the pointers? What was it that said that we have a better economy under Olusegun Obasanjo?
So really, as of now, I've actually not got a measurement, a standard measurement that we can use now. But what I've seen
is what
that I can mention is perhaps the GDP.
So what was the GDP under Olusegun Obasanjo?
46 billion.
Under Obasanjo?
Going to, I'm sure it's no more than 150.
At best, at the peak.
So what's the current GDP now?
Or 200.
Let's check it.
Let's
check it.
$400 billion last year.
Last year?
Yeah.
And you believe that we are better under Olusegun Obasanjo?
Last year is not 400. Last year is 360.
Okay, there is.
360 billion.
Okay. Under Olusegun Obasanjo, what was it?
So Nigeria 2007, right?
Mm-hmm. That was his last year in office.
Yeah.
274.
Billion.
278 billion.
And we are at what now?
And we are at 360
billion. So
and then we have a population of 144 million. Now we have like over 200 million of population.
Okay.
So with that, and
so to be frank, the GDP didn't really grow. I'm not impressed.
The GDP didn't really grow.
Yeah.
Now, so the GDP rose from I think
about 90 billion.
How much? I think he entered this thing 1999, right?
Yes.
1999, the GDP was 59 billion. 59.15 billion. And then at the end of his administration, which was I think mid 2007, the GDP was 278.
For some of you that do not understand GDP, in case you did not study economics or you are in the sciences and co, your school, GDP is gross domestic product. It's the total value of product that are produced, products and services that is produced within a country within a span. Let's say in a period of 1 month or 1 year or 10 years. It's the sheer volume of products or productivity that was generated. That's how we measure that this is the volume, this is the rate at which people produce valuable piece of content, of purchasable material, of things people can pay for. So that's GDP. GDP is what is your work? What all the works that happen in the country, all the what is it worth? So that is a very, very good way to measure the performance of an economy. So now, are you agreeing with him that?
So
president. And then what about crime rate?
I'm coming. It's a fraudulent number is putting for.
Okay, what was the number like?
One, right? Purchasing power parity.
Okay.
For an average Nigeria.
No. I think wait. Before you say
I will get back to your GDP. I will get back to your GDP. I will get back to your GDP.
I know what you are saying. You know why I want to interrupt you. You know why I want to interrupt you. In the first place, I said I have not come to the conclusion of everything that should be. That's why I did not make mention of it when I was talking to you. Now,
let him get to your GDP. Let him.
No, because you are already calling me fraud. Already.
Let's see the
continue.
Numbers are fraudulent.
Okay.
The numbers are fraudulent in the sense that number one, purchasing power parity of a Nigerian in 2007 versus what it is in 2023 or 2024. In 2007 is less than $4,000. That's 3,000 something. In 2023 it is 6,000 plus. That's $1. That's one.
Are we also considering the value of dollar?
I'm coming now. Coming back to your GDP. The GDP that you're actually giving us. So can you please, Mr. John, give us what the GDP of Nigeria was denominated in Naira at that particular time?
What it was denominated in Naira?
Yes, at that particular time. Since we are talking about Nigeria, please just let me check.
No, you can. No. I cannot be looking for it because I don't know it. So you can give us.
So what's the number in? We have something to say. All these people are still.
Yeah, like the point I was trying to make was I was talking about the human tendency for nostalgia. Even though I remember that then Abdul Karim Abdul Jabbar was singing Nigeria Jaga Jaga. So we are trying to use artists' judgment. Or people's judgment, opinion at every point in time, it's always the same. Nigeria is the worst thing that happened in the universe. So that's what I've always seen, that to be consistent in the history of Nigeria. So even after, I remember that when Tinubu came, people were like, we were better off under Buhari. We did not even know that.
That's the job breaker.
That's the job breaker. That's the one that broke the camel's back. I'm like,
we are better off under Buhari. So after Tinubu now, next person, Tinubu was the lifesaver.
When Buhari came in, we were all about change. So when Buhari came in, I heard from one person, In fact, I was up till today. I was wondering if the person is mentally okay because the person was saying, Abacha go to buy.
So you know that you can. I understand that this thing that it's easier for us to look at the back and say it's better, but again, sometimes it is obvious. So, for instance, people still make reference of Abacha, like he said, it is still the yardstick for bad governance. Even till now. So even now, he's saying that people are saying that one is worse than it, which shows that, of course, people think like that. They are one
you are using as your arbiter of truth. As if the same people that are breaking the same.
They are not consistent at all.
They are not consistent
at all.
They are not consistent.
What I'm saying is that, of course, people have it, but there are times that it is crystal obvious.
So you mean that we can measure it actually?
Yes,
whether a period of time was better than a period of time.
To a large extent.
So that's the point. So what are the metrics? I also believe that it's possible to compare two administrations on particular established grounds. But the
point is that one of the big problems is that our audience are like students that the lecturer is confusing about this subject matter, and we want to help them get a little bit of a license. One of the problems I've found is that the context of time are changing, right? Time is a very, very. I always say that there's no difference between actual and potential. There's no difference between actual and potential. If something have a potential of something, then that thing is actually that thing already. So if water has the potential to be ice, then water is already has the capacity of icing. You have just not seen it in a timeline. You understand? But if you give it enough time, it will become blocked, ice, solid. It changes it. So essentially, what I'm seeing is that it's so hard to now say, oh, Nigeria was great when it was just liquid. Or Nigeria was not great when it was just liquid. It's the same water that transforms into solid. Does that make sense? So the idea of if Nigeria was great, it's supposed to transcend into now. Because greatness is supposed to be inheritable.
Yes.
Now, if you want to say that Nigeria was great, all of a sudden something happened, what happened? If they were that great, the great should translate to a reality now. That means we are drinking a very, very poisonous water at one point. Let me give you an example of what I'm saying. For instance, now, before we subsidize the economy, before the economy comes in and say we remove subsidy, we were living in a lie. Exactly. So we might be saying it was great, it's a lie. We are living in a lie. It wasn't great. Now, lie we they live. We were postponing our suffering for our future. Now we are chopping it because now it has transformed from water, from liquid format to solid.
Exactly.
That's what we are just facing. It's not really that it was great at that time. It wasn't great at that time. We were lying. We were capping. I think I've shared this with you before. That I said the reason why most people got out of a relationship and then say, "Oh, that was the worst thing that happened to me ever," and then you now remember that when she was in the relationship, or when he said that that's the best thing after sliced bread. So what is happening is that, in essence, when they were in the relationship justifies itself. And the moment you take it out, you take that relationship out too, it becomes that you are the person. So I'm relying on you to feed me, to clothe me. All of a sudden, you end that relationship. Are you not the worst thing that happened to me like that? Do you know that when you were with me, you were the best thing? You were supporting my livelihood, everything. But the moment you take off my livelihood, are you not the worst thing that happened to me? So at the same time that you were the best thing that happened to me when it was the case, you are still the worst thing that happened to me when you were away. So when we were subsidizing the economy, I think the economy was still bad. The economy was still, because it cannot stand on its own leg.
Of course.
I don't think
of judgment.
Hoping that I think it's just like the issue of climate change. Like if climate change is really like the way they say it is. So now we are postponing the day of suffering about climate for our children, right? But the fact that we are not doing anything now does not mean that it's not bad. Does not mean it's not getting destroyed. But the fact that, okay, in a few years time we start seeing real effect and we start trying to solve it, that does not mean that our world got rotting.
No,
That
it has rotting.
It has been rotting.
Knee.
If that's the correct expression.
See,
It has rotted.
when you want to give me analysis of an organization that was better than as it is as we speak. Okay, give Unilearning as an example. Unilearning was better off, I would say. I don't know if everybody here that has been to Unilearning agrees with me. And I'll give you the instance that there was Wi-Fi then. They were trying to shut up. They were even number one at that point in time.
They were number one back
to back, not even once.
They take more population in.
The hot cake, you understand?
Hot cake, take more population.
Conscience was there.
There was no strike.
No strike.
Imagine
no strike.
You learning powering their own server before. Now they outsource it to somebody. It's just like you are going from glory to the glory. From
Unilearning is like Covenant University there. That, okay, for your 4 years is what? 4 years.
They did not join
but
us.
Right now, that's not the case. So it's clear. Now, if you are giving me that of Obasanjo's era, right? And you are saying the GDP was certain amount that I was giving. And okay, give me naira. You will say 9.5 trillion naira. But yeah, what's the exchange? What's the this now? The current GDP in naira. It's over 140 something trillion naira.
Wait, you have to consider what you are saying, because if you are using, there's a reason why GDP is calculated in dollar. So that you will not be deluding yourself. You will not be deluding yourself, and then you go out, your 50,000 naira will not be able to buy what your former 5,000 naira could buy.
You know why that's the case? Because there's a report that Nigeria has spent well over $200 billion in subsidizing both
its currency.
So its currency and fuel.
Since 1980 something or so.
Since 1980 something.
No, it started from 1973.
1973.
So we cannot turn the blind eye to those facts.
And pretend that time was that good. Because if it was that good, they should not have imported troubles. Come for all of us now.
So okay, if
they were not good. They were capping. That's the best we can say. We are capping.
Exactly. If you are giving me the fact that
they were capping. That's the ultimate. They were capping.
Exactly.
It's a capping economy.
Capping so.
The economy. Economy will not start on anything.
So if you are telling me that
kind of economy.
These people that have nostalgic problem that says Nigeria was better during a particular time or the other that they forget to I think they have problem comprehending math. They have problem with math. They will complain about Nigeria's education and co that this is happening, that is happening. Okay. That people are sleeping at home. ASU is striking every now and then. Comparing with US, for instance, now, they forget to know the fact that people are paying less than $200 in Nigeria. Even right now, that it is very expensive under Tinubu's administration, right? Versus other part of the world, the same climb that they are paying $30,000 to go to university. So what do you expect when you are paying? Even Covenant, one of the most expensive Nigerian universities, they are paying less than $4,000. Is it even up to $4,000? I doubt if it's up to $4,000 that they are paying. So all these things, if people really analyze the math so well, they will understand that in Nigeria, everything is really underpriced, largely subsidized. You understand? Even tea, we speak, even though they remove subsidy, that's why it's even less than that, $200 or to $250. So it's that crazy. So people saying that this one is better. Even right now, they've not gone on any successful strike with this current administration. Yet you tell me that during OBJ's tenure, like his fanboy was saying the other time that it was better. They did strike 6 different times, just during a 8-year tenure, for God's sake. So what exactly is your point?
So
let's hear his point. What's that?
I would like to agree. It is a great feat that Tinubu has achieved that since he has been in the administration, there has not been any successful strike. Which has always been an issue for us in Nigeria.
University of Abuja is a very serious school.
Serious school. So I think when we started this comparison, what I brought up is that maybe we should check out when we are talking about. That is, it is very hard. Even me, even if I'm not a fan of Buhari's administration, I would not say Buhari's administration is worse than Abacha's administration.
Okay.
So, which means I'm not saying just the past, everything in the past. So that's why I niche it down to a particular time,
Which is
the Obasanjo regime. And right before me, this Tinubu fanboy is trying to tell me that okay, everything has been padded and Obasanjo regime, all those stats that I'm saying, all the GDP, blah blah, that I'm saying, was padded, right?
Obasanjo apologies on the mic.
Now, the point is, if you are saying Obasanjo regime was padding government, was padding this thing, what do we call it?
The economy.
The economy.
Padded economy.
What is Tinubu doing by now? He's just 3 years into this administration and he's already borrowed $6 billion. And if we don't forget, if we check the history book, which is there in the public domain, we all know that Obasanjo reduced our debt, all those debt that were coming from $28 billion to $2 billion. And you are here telling me that he was start padding. So I'm not talking about Abacha regime, Babangida regime. I'm talking in specific to Obasanjo regime.
Do you know that economically speaking, that's a bad decision?
Why do you say so?
So now, I think in my recent video, I made this statement that a person with a vision is always low on provision. You know, I just make that as a bad comment. I think people in the comments are asking me that, what do I mean by that? Here's the thing. If you have a dream, let's say you want to buy a car, right? That's all you want to do. And you are collecting 100,000 naira a month.
Okay.
By definition, you want to take away like 80k. Or even the entire, if they give you the room, you will take away the entire 100k. Because you want to buy 1 billion naira car. You know that if you want to buy it before December, you need to take out that much in order to do it. That's at least your 100k salary in 10 months before you're able to do it. And you survive on 2 months. So you will be low on provisions, right? And then people say, does that not conflict with the idea of where there's a vision, there's always a provision? Yes, when there's a vision, there's always a provision. It's just that you'll be low on provision on personal things. You understand? Anytime you have a vision, of course, there will be provision for it. But of course, that provision is towards that vision. So it's only, the thing that will be left is the pro. So essentially, we are a growing economy, right? Nigeria is a growing economy. And you cannot say you are taking the finance of a growing economy to go and pay up debt.
So except if such debt is accumulating. Right?
Before we get there.
Done now.
No, I'm saying something else.
Do you
I want to attack something.
Let me be done with this analysis because I'm not agree any other rubbish you guys want to bring forward going further.
I'm listening.
Because unless you don't, there's one other person that did it. I think it's this guy they are calling their principal or something like that somewhere. He also did this in this thing. What's their state like that?
Anambra.
Is that Anambra? Yeah. They also do that paying debt. No growing. It's just like you are a growing startup. You are a company. Every state. Let's all even start from there. Every state is like a company, right? Go and check the top company in the world. Nvidia, Apple. Go and check all of them. They are on massive debt, massive crazy debt. And now, you that you have a growing economy, unless you don't know what to use those money to do, unless you don't know what to use those money to do in such a way that they are going to generate more return than the rate of interest. Does that make sense to you? If you are not an economist, you are not a strategist to do that, you are already failing the country. Borrow strategic head that can do it for you. But you don't tell me that you are a country in its growing time and all you can do is to pack money of that country to pay debt. It's a foolish decision. For you now to be using it as a good point in front of me makes me question whether
one thing you have to be aware of is that there is debt servicing, and it is one of the things that is crippling Nigerian economy because most of Nigerian revenue is used to make and then to service debt. And then wait, you are saying that these people do not understand the economy. You have to understand the fact that
to be frank, in all fairness, there was sheer genius that OBJ deployed in this regard because this payment of debt wasn't that payment in cash. It was negotiating. It was debt forgiveness.
Okay.
You understand? They forgive. It's not like they part money from Nigeria's economy and then use it to pay it. So to be frank, it made sense. You understand? But where it doesn't make sense is the fact that he did it at the end of his 8-year administration. And now, he's directing it towards Tinubu, for instance. Now, Tinubu has done less than 2 years in office, so I don't see how that's.
So what you are saying is that let's get something clear. The debt forgiveness does not require any form of
actual payment.
Now,
really,
it requires actual payment, but there is amount. There's a discount amount. There's a discount amount. It was discounted, very, very, very discounted.
It was discounted payment.
Very discounted.
All the interest that it has accrued. Let's say we borrowed for 12 billion. It has now entered 28 billion due to the interest. So they forgave the interest largely. So at the end of the day, I think if they were going to do the budget at that particular year, the debt per budget ratio will be less than 30% due to what just happened. Unlike when it was, I think the last administration, they were servicing debt with 92% of the budget. Yeah, so
which makes it make sense on that ground.
Yeah.
But for you to be pointing that paying up debt is anything.
No, you know why I say it. Do you know why I said that? We have to come back to why I brought out this stat. You have to come back to why I brought out this stat.
Let's also attack that on a ground that nobody is saying that Tinubu debt cannot be forgiven.
Wait. Calm down. Wait now. The point I'm driving at, the reason why I brought out this stat in the first place is because it is being said that our Obasanjo regime was started. So are we walking back on that? That is my point.
Subsidizing dollar, subsidizing fuel. Simple.
Wait, and we went from $28 billion in debt to $2 billion.
How does it work?
Those ones have nothing to do.
That means that you are actually taking is, of course, only if I do not know what you mean by start burden. So what I believe is that
what context have we painted? Have we given so far? That
so what I believe is that we are taking loan.
Let me give you this.
Nobody's saying we are taking loan to pay.
Let me give you this picture.
Abi?
Let me give you this picture. So there's a home, father, mother, and their children, and the father makes just 50,000 naira a month. You know, and he's borrowing additional 50,000 naira a month, telling his wife that he's making 100,000 naira a month to ensure that everybody eats in the house. So because that debt that is taken from Alal Bank or Alamiju Bank was forgiven because they don't like the bank shut down or one reason, so they forgive loan. Doesn't mean that the home wasn't padded while he was, claiming that he has 100,000 naira income.
No, you have to trace back to how much did he borrow to pad it.
Calm down. Let's explain this. Don't entangle it together.
Okay. I'm listening.
Your finance can take 50,000 naira. You said you tell your wife that where I'm working is 100,000 they are giving me. So you are using that 100,000 to feed the family. Everybody is eating. Your children are eating chicken. You are drawing like this when you cannot afford it. All of a sudden now, when you are borrowing the money, they forgive you. It doesn't deny the fact that you padded those error.
So
what we are pointing at is that the fuel we are buying, the rice we are buying, the dollar we are using, the Ankara we are buying,
the school we are going,
all of that we are padded during that time. So you pointing at but they forgive the loan. Does not change the fact that the entire era was based on padding.
That is if in that era they were borrowing at that particular time.
They borrowed till 2007 when he was leaving. That was when he deployed the genius. He was a late bloomer now.
How much did he borrow?
No, it wasn't even just himself that borrowed the
he
borrowed, his predecessor borrowed, and at the end of his tenure.
Let us actually come to what he borrowed. I think that is what
he
did was
he borrowed. It means that you are the professor of his borrow. He borrowed. How much did he borrow?
Now, wait. The point is, I've been trying to check it. I've not find how much he borrowed.
Okay.
Wait, now it is now you that say that he start padding that will give me the start of how much he borrowed.
I think this one will help you losing your confusion a little bit because I think I get what both sides are saying. But I think where you are missing the point is that you think when they say we are padding, we are taking money from a place where we borrowed. Not
Not
necessarily.
necessarily.
We are taking money from our revenue to pad. That's the
Pad.
point.
What we are
That's
saying is that
what
wait, what we are saying is
So
that
not
your
necessarily
argument that
about borrowing or
your argument
anything. But
that
that's why
price
it
was
seems to
7.5.
him. You saying you talking about the borrowing is just like
And
It doesn't work.
so
It
you
doesn't
saying
Okay, I
that
get what
rice
you're
was
saying.
wait,
I
you
get
saying
what
that
you're
rice
saying. I
was
get what you're
7.5. You
You understand?
understand?
The salary of the
Please.
father is just 50,000. We can't spend 100,000. Well, whether we get it from heaven
But
or
how
we get
does
it from
that
the
how does
sky.
that really affect the
And
padding
what?
of our GDP? I'm still trying to
It's
understand.
my fault because we
Yeah.
are not living in the future. We are just living in the future. We are
So
not
down,
built.
John,
We are living based on numbers that we cannot even provide. We cannot even account for.
John,
You dey
let
collect
me give
50,000
you
salary,
the
you dey spend 100,000 naira.
John,
How do you do
let
it?
me
You are
give
moving
you
mad.
this thing. See, they say rice is how much? 2.5. Rice is 7.5. And then that's what people say.
Okay.
So now you are paying, the person is paying 7.5. Why the government is paying 21,000 something
To buy the rice.
to buy the rice in
Into the
natural
country.
sense? Because the dollar rate as at then, in true sense, is supposed to be, if floated, if not controlled, you understand, if not pegged by the central bank, it's supposed to be 400. And then you are selling the same dollar for 65 naira, 100 naira, just because you want to maintain the status quo.
Just
So
go
that
all your kids to chop chicken.
So that the middle class can breathe.
Breathe. Let
You
the poor
understand?
breathe.
Okay, the fuel, like it is sold in Benin Republic for so long, more than, I think currently is even more than 1.6 that they are selling it equivalent.
yeah,
that
it's
they are
always
selling
it's always around $1.
You
Around that's what
always
I'm
around
Let me give you
$1.
another. I think there's a one that you connect with. It's when you are the boyfriend, right? And your girlfriend told you that, babe, I need additional 1 million for my business. You now ask why. She said then she wants to do sales for her business.
Yeah.
Goods where she buy for 50
Really?
naira each. She wants to sell it for her customer at 30 naira each. And then you, boyfriend, you now give her 1 million to sponsor that sales. So she will now be telling me, we sold out. She will not go on social media and be saying, we sold out. And you will be somewhere, you'll be shaking your head. Now me, they sponsor this sold out.
At all. And you didn't collect equity because you didn't collect equity or you didn't collect interest on the loan. You are not saying that it wasn't.
No,
It
but
Does
wasn't
that mean
fake.
that she has a big good business?
But
Does that mean that
Does that mean
she
she has a good business?
no.
The fact that you did not collect the money back, or you did not collect equity from her business, or you did not get interest on that money, does that mean that she has a good business?
No.
That's what we were attacking.
Now the point is we are talking about Nigeria as a collective, as a whole. So in this case, it will be you and the wife together. We are talking about you and the wife, how you are faring, everything about you and the wife in total.
So we are not saying we are fearing on fake money.
Why
we
do
are
you make
saying,
fake money as
let me give
Nigeria?
you.
Since it is our money, how is it
Guys,
fake money?
this is
our
it.
money.
Yeah, this
As
is-
Nigerians.
this- GDP, this is it, but Dangote was importing rice and bagging it in Nigeria at a point, right?
Yeah.
So what the government does is that the government, if Dangote is buying each rice for 1 billion naira, the rice that Dangote is importing, given the exchange rate that is really discounted, the government is automatically giving him extra 3 billion.
Where does the government get the money? Where
does the government get the money from? Number one, government, for example, this Buhari government, they printed 23 trillion naira.
Just pure money.
Okay.
Out of blue,
That has its own
That's one.
implication. If I go into that one,
You understand?
cause a lot of problem.
Yeah, I can hear you.
So that's one. Two, they can source the money from abroad. You understand? And three, Nigeria also generates revenue.
Okay.
You understand? But then, whichever way it was sourced, the money was sourced.
Yes, now before you think, since we are the one that made the money and we used to help our life, it's okay. No, it's not okay. The reason why it's not okay is back to my startup argument, which is that there's some money is meant to go back into deployment of resources, into building infrastructure, into paying for OC. Just imagine that instead of we using all our money to pay for AWS and co, we now use to go and do Dorime this December. Everybody now fly. We fly. We tell people we do fly.com. We can't fly. We fly enter Malay. We can't stay on the yacht. Or we remember when Olumide was talking about some people got invest some money and then they went to Ghana. 3 months they were doing market visa oble. Or they are doing oble or invest some money. So does that justify that we are having a good economy? Now who will suffer it? They are the people who are in the future of that company that need to pay for the equity that they have sold to those investors that don't even have oble on.
You don't chop.
Somebody will pay for it at some point in time. And now we are paying for it and we are thinking it is these people that has problem. No, the people before them have been creating the problem. Even these people that are still managing it, they are still managing some problem. They see keeping some problem under the carpet.
And then we are creating more problems for the future. Don't get it wrong.
No. The point is now that
some problem for future use purposes.
You know why you cannot say you are not siding them? Because me too, I'm not saying Obasanjo regime is the 100% how we're supposed to be living life. The reason is that it is a juxtaposition.
Exactly.
So we are comparing these to this.
Now we are not saying that if you are not comparing
all these things that we are saying now, we are still experiencing them. Some fraction of them now.
All of them. If we are not comparing, what we are not saying is that as of now, there's nothing better Nigeria than now.
Exactly.
The Nigeria that is now is the best of Nigeria we have ever had recorded. That's what we are saying. Economically. You can talk about another thing. Maybe they are this thing. Boko Haram have more sophisticated weapon, or some men may have more whatever. I don't care. But as economically, if we take other subject, we can look into that one too. But economically, this is the best economy so far that we have ever created.
So
I think solely based on the fact that we are operating in a way that is closer to reality than ever. Than at least since 1970. Like operating in a way that is closer to reality now.
That we are not obeying on anybody's
no
money.
Subsidy on dollar, no subsidy on what's it
on
called?
Petrol, on
gas,
petrol, on OPM.
Exactly. The fact that even Dangote NNPC, they are having price war over the amount that fuel is sold.
Dude.
You understand? So that exactly based
now
on
we are beginning to live on our reality. Even our university education is still being subsidized small, but then we are beginning.
But at least people are paying $200 now instead of $20.
Instead of $20 to get a $200 value.
That one paying you instead of people paying $20, discounted $20. Do you get the point? That is subsidized. Discounted $20.
They are paying $20. That's still subsidized.
So the thing was
we are really far before now. We are really far from reality.
So and this
what end is this new thing? What is supposed to be the outcome of it? That we should expect from it.
That we at least I'm guaranteeing
that we are seeing the ones that we are seeing.
No, we don't need
to see is that
we are reducing the pain that we are shifting to the future.
No, that one paying you. What's evidence so far is that last year when Buhari was doing his valedictory service, the budget that he presented to the house was debt servicing was 92%. 92%. Right now, the last one that it was submitted to the house, it was less than 69%, 60-something% of the budget was based off paying debt servicing.
Oh, good.
Do you get the point? So there's obvious difference.
Which means that we are reducing. That's why I'm saying
by next year we also see
to the future.
So this one is not even about maybe people are using one chicken to eat before they will eat with 3 chicken. That's not the point. What we are saying is that Father Christmas is gone. That is going to.
I think the best time to evaluate an administration is after the administration.
And then apart from that, are governors getting fatter check for FAAC? Yes or no?
They are definitely
Sure.
They definitely
so they are definitely getting it. So the next thing is okay. So what have the governor done with it? That's another question. Another day. And that's not what we are talking. So those indices we are seeing them, and that's what we are supposed to see.
It's clear we are reducing pain.
I'm not saying that the price of fuel. The price of fuel will be 50 kobo. No, that's not what I'm saying. In fact, it will be higher because we are supposed to pay that in the first place for so long.
That's what I want to add to this conversation.
Yeah, I think we've moved past the point I wanted to chip in. During OBJ's regime, from 1999 to 2007, you borrowed $7 billion, right? 8 years, and Tinubu has borrowed $2.5 billion already. So I wanted to.
No, it's more than 2 points. It's up to 6.
Tinubu.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
The thing is that let me start here. There's this thing about debt care. I don't know whether there's something like that in Nigeria.
See. If you want to borrow to do stuff,
okay,
that's okay. Not we borrowing, and we all know this. We all know our country. We all know where this money are going. Right? People will see profit. It's not as if we are going to do something grandiose at the end of the day. Right? That's my fear.
I guess.
If that can be your fear, but I want you to understand that most of our audience or the people we are trying to talk to are people younger than us, 10 years, 17 years, so whatever. And essentially what we are trying to communicate to them is to understand the fundamental fabrics of this. That's why we call it rational dialogue. We are not trying to sugarcoat anything for each other. Debt is not a problem. In any even US is the best economy in the world, they get debt.
But there are some debts that are problem.
They are only China.
But there are some debts that are problem rather. It depends on the kind of debt. Because he choke during Buhari regime. He choke.
The rate that you acquire the loan, and then why you acquire loan at a very high rate? Because you have high risks. That's why they look at you and say you don't have anything to pay us. So what we will do is that we increase the interest rate. So at least we quickly recoup our money back from just collecting the interest.
Let me give you this instance, right? Okay, say federal government has borrowed certain amount from several people and all of that. Let me give you a creative way they've even raised money. They raise money by issuing bond, which US does, by issuing bond to the general populace, and then they are giving 10-11%. And then they raised in more than $2 billion as we speak. And people are oversubscribing. People are ready to give as much as Nigeria. There are people are ready to give as much as $9 billion. So that's just 10%. Unlike all this Buhari go and raise money that it will be like almost 20-something%. 15%.
Because they don't have what's it called? Authority. The moral authority we call it, or the economic authority in those conversations.
You didn't do the necessary reform to merit.
You don't merit the discounted. It's just like when a company goes to a bank to say, I want to get a loan. If they look at your balance sheet and see that you are producing money every month, they will not be overthinking giving you money. They know you
can negotiate the term.
You can negotiate the term. You stand on your term. They will be begging you with loan.
But when you see that you printed 23 trillion, explain. I want to borrow money.
I want to borrow more.
That means almost any percentage that is offered before you will take it. If not, you won't be able to run the country.
Since your borrowing is for Oble.
It's for Oble now. It's for Oble at the end of the day. So essentially, I don't like this third scale convention. I just want the real problem, like you said, is that we did borrow that money and use it for the right thing, and we are banking on the
Nigerian factor.
That's the Nigerian factor. Current to have sense. Current we are hoping they do have sense on anything they are borrowing. But essentially, core companies, especially in their young years, they need fund. They need fund to grow. And Nigeria is such. We have seen very, very young.
And why I don't think that's even a problem at all for this conversation is the fact that every administration has always been accused of corruption in past. Those that did not borrow, those that paid back loan, those that did whatever, they have always been accused of corruption.
Everybody, so nobody escaped with that.
This administration is the one that is going to be different, or perhaps will be better or whatever. It's not a matter of that underground.
The thing is that we are only replacing, allegedly replacing Ibru with Yahya. You know my point. The difference of the missing money is only allegedly getting different. Allegedly. I'm not alleging anything.
So
that's true. Another point. Please, everything I've said is allegedly.
Before they come now and say,
I said defamation.
Right. Okay, that would be
the government is the best thing ever.
So I think that's it, and that's it on the national dialogue for the year. You should just know that you need to do your research, look at the numbers, understand the economy. Don't let one professor spoon feed you into the fact that the past was better, the past was doing better.
Which part was better?
Whatever. Which part? There's a lie. It's all lies. It's all lies. If you look at the number, you'll be shocked. And there's nothing serious.
Maybe you shouldn't let the professor bobo you. But if your professor say A is A, please don't argue.
Alright,
don't argue for him, for writing's sake. A is A. Don't go and be arguing. No, that's not true. Okay, you see yourself.
Another thing is that was it not in the past that we had civil war?
Exactly.
Now military they rule us.
So it wasn't not the past that we had Abacha and military everywhere.
I think 24 years. I busy how many years? 5 years of stable democracy.
I know why not.
Instead with whatever what's it called? Military government had.
I know why not, sir.
And maybe even
I know some people still prefer military rule, but
their mama
That's their home and the 3 people in their WhatsApp group.
Ego, that's the problem. So before we go, I think we should wrap the year with a little bit roast. Well, NT episode so far, who do you think always make the worst arguments? Josh, what do you think always make the worst arguments?
It depends, because when we go
What
to
do
the
you think is
religious part, John was drinking Capiso at some point. I forgot that part where it was. I think it was debating, and he was making case for this. It was this. What was that point?
Don't worry, I accept. Moving on. I accept. Moving on.
So that's and then the joy in that aspect. But in some other aspect, for this year or every episode,
Rational dialogue.
Okay, or rational dialogue. I'm trying to remember.
I know that this guy, if you call him to any football analysis or something, he'll just be capping. He will start talking, but he will take his emotion into full cap.
Help me.
He's always saying that it's objective.
Fact is fact. Fact is
That's how
Messi
it
has
is.
8 Ballon d'Ors. I'm coming. Fact is Messi has 8 Ballon d'Ors. Fact is he has 6 Golden Boots. Fact is he has 2 World Cup Golden Balls. Fact is he has one World Cup, right? Fact is he has won several MVPs of tournaments, international tournaments, right? Those are facts. Now if I'm stating that, I'm not capping.
And fact is the fact that Pedri that has year number of goal or year number of assists is better than Bellingham in your
stats.
That's the stat. That's what stat is.
Is it not stats?
Stat is the fact that Barcelona that has never won any useful European trophy since 2016 or 2015 is better than Real Madrid.
He's doing great.
He's doing awesome because they won Madrid 4-0. That is what stat is.
According to Professor.
Let me talk. Thank you very much.
What's your response to that, Rose?
If you go on my page on Creative Dance Smith, you see I did a content, right? Maybe check the last 4 content. You find it where I said Madrid is great, is greatest football club. I mentioned it there. But if you want to chase clout, you want to paint me as what I'm not, you'll be saying trash here, sitting your eyes at me saying nonsense here.
I put it to you right now. In the last 20 years, Madrid, which club is the greatest club?
Last 20 years.
Yes.
Madrid now, of course. They've won in most trophies.
Now, in the last 15 years, which club is the greatest club?
Last 15 years.
Yes.
We'll say Madrid too.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And then you can see.
No. I'll not ask you. In the last 20 years, who is the greatest footballer?
In the last 20 years? To me, it's Cristiano Ronaldo.
Why?
Because okay, now he has, I think
you see?
most
Can you
goals
see?
and everything, and besides,
Wait,
don't get this wrong. I'm not saying objectively. I'm not giving an objective opinion here. I'm not giving an objective opinion.
Don't let anybody go on my page. My content are there. They are there for people to see. Don't let somebody sit down and be yarning
and that's it one more time. I put it to you again.
Nonsense.
Bellingham or Pedri, who is the better player?
I'll go with Pedri.
Do you believe that? Do you believe that's fact?
I'm biased.
Biased. This is the change we are praying for. We are the change we have been looking for.
You will not sit down here and be saying what I didn't say. Go on my page. Later, it's usually on my page. What the fuck are you saying?
For the past 20 years, Chelsea or Arsenal, which is a greater club?
Chelsea has won more than Arsenal for the past 20 years.
Okay.
Which is the greater club?
Chelsea.
We see you next year. This is the best episode so far.
We hope you enjoyed this episode half as much as we did.
So now, if